Hey, Programming 12, we are here, and we're gonna make some kind of a textured cube. Is our goal for this lesson. It's gonna be a little tricky to do and to explain, so I will do my best. But if it doesn't go so well, we'll do it in class as well, where we can sort of be a little bit more interactive. Don't hesitate to ask questions in class as well. But also try your best to watch the video and experiment and figure things out. I thought I'd use a Minecraft block as an example because, I mean, that's exactly what's going on in Minecraft blocks. They're just textured, three-dimensional shapes, boxes, if you will. So, that's a perfect example. The graphics are also definitely processing's speed. You know what I mean? Like, they're not super high res and stuff. I mean, some of them are pretty cool looking, but they're by no means the fanciest ones, at least the default ones that not including all these texture mods and fancy high-res things. So I'm going to maybe use the diamond block as an example, and I'm going to download the texture. I don't know if you can access this website in class. I'm going to assume you actually cannot, in fact, because, VSB likes to block stuff that has to do with games. So I'll link it just in case you want to find these and download them at home and bring them into class. Or if you're working remotely and you want to get them, I'll put a link on there. But it will also include these files for you to work with for today. So I'll have that linked for you to download. So right here we got, I'm going to do this, this is probably the one I want here. 16 by 16 pixels is pretty small. But that's the one I'm going to use because I think that's actually, what Minecraft uses. So it's good enough for Minecraft, it's good enough for us. They have these like slightly higher kilobyte versions, which are probably good for like zooming in more. Maybe. I'm not too sure if they are, but they also require a lot more bytes. Well, maybe not that much more, 331 versus 263. So maybe it's not a big deal. But I'm going to use this one here. I've already downloaded it to my sketch, and I've made a new sketch. So you'll want to download that too from Teams. And I have my sketch here ready to go, and beside it is the diamond.png, just that same picture. Okay, so we'll basically be stealing a lot of stuff from the previous project. The previous project being the one where we made the box, just the regular box and sphere and stuff. I don't have that open right now. Oh yeah, I do, here it is. So I do want you to also make a new file for this new project, not just overwrite the old one. You'll want to keep the old one as an example. But there's a lot of commonalities, so I'll copy some of these things over. We're going to want those rotation variables for keeping track of the angle for our X and Y rotations. We're going to use the same setup, so I'll bring that over. We'll even use the same dragging function. That was a pretty cool function, hey? Mouse dragged to get the rotations so we can click and drag stuff around. And I will also put in, of course, a void draw. So that's where we'll start. And then we'll start adding in some new things. So for example, I'll want to load that texture. That's just a P image. No big deal. P image, we'll call it diamond, I guess. And I'll load that. And I should be able to say diamond equals load image diamond.png. All right, and then we're going to start doing some texture stuff. It would be silly not to put in all the other things that would be good though. So maybe before we do textures, we'll just put in things like I won't put this in the function just yet, but I'll do push matrix and pop matrix on the bottom. Eventually this will be its own function. Yeah, we'll just leave it for there. I'm going to do a translate. Let's just stick it in the center of the screen right now. Just put it width divided by 2 for X, height divided by 2 for Y, and 0 for Z. We're actually going to be scaling this. We're going to draw this in terms of just like zeros and ones, really, like just pixel sizes, and then we'll magnify it with scale. That way we can just use scale to say how big we want it to be. So let's scale it to, say, size 100, or even more, maybe 200. But just be aware that that's important because we're going to magnify this so we can draw it as a small little sort of unit square with side lengths of 1. That's sort of the goal. And then we do the rotation stuff. So rotate X by rotate X, rotate Y, by rotate whatever, rot Y, whatever that variable. I'm not sure how to pronounce it without sounding gross. Rot Y sounds pretty lame. All right, there we go. Now, I wish we could just like be like box, whatever, and then like fill diamond. Man, wouldn't that be like wild if we could do that? But that doesn't work. It's like, what are you trying to do, kid? It's not impressed with me. So we can't, unfortunately. There's no nice simple way to do this. We gotta get kind of technical here. But that's okay. You guys are definitely capable of doing this. But I know that this will be hard to explain, and I know it'll be hard to sort of learn, especially through this video. So again, if it doesn't go so well, ask questions, but like try to watch it, try to figure it out as you go. But if a lot of people are struggling with it, or even just a small group of people, we can do this in class and go over it on the whiteboard and figure it out together. Somehow, some way, somewhere, some when, some why, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Okay, so here's the deal. In order, like we can't just make a box that can be textured. We have to make a shape. And the way you make a shape is you say begin shape, and you say end shape. And then you apply a texture, and you can apply multiple textures, kind of, but we'll get to that later on. Today, we'll just do the single texture. So it's just a texture, diamond. And then what you do is you describe each face. We're doing a cube, so it's got multiple faces. So you'll describe the top and the bottom, the bottom, the front face, the back face, the left face, and the right face. And you'll do this by using the vertex function. So I'll show you what that looks like, but basically each top and bottom and all these faces, they're all squares, right? Squares have 4 vertices. So there'll be like 4 vertices for the top, and 4 for the bottom, and 4 for the front, and 4 for the back. So it'll be 6, what is that? 6 times 4, so 24. I can math, yes. 24 vertex functions to make all this work. In order to put this together as like, not just like some big ball or something, so that it knows that these are groups of 4 shapes, we also had to describe what kind of shape it is. So in begin shape, we can say that it's going to be a shape made up of quads, or groups of 4 vertexes, which will describe faces. There's actually a bunch of things you can do with this. I'll just point you there so you can see. Is it Control-Shift-F? Yeah, I did it. So this takes us to begin shape, and you can see there's a whole lot of different types of shapes. You can make strips of triangles. You can make triangle fans. This is quads, what we're using, quad strips. You can make just lines, all sorts of stuff. You can do some pretty wild things. Here's all the examples of different things you can choose. But right now, we're just going to work on boxes. So just hang in there with the boxes. But just know that there's other options for you if you so desire. So let's go back here. So that's good. There is going to be another thing I want to do. I also want to make sure I say no stroke. The stroke will be confusing. If you see the stroke in there with the picture, it's going to be a little confusing. And hey, while we're at it, why don't we stick in a background as well? Background 0, we'll say. I think that'll be good. Okay, so let's talk about how these vertexes work. This is going to require me to draw a picture, and I am not the greatest artist, but indulge me. Let me try. So you're used to seeing a processing screen, right? Like you are used to the 2D screen, totally. You have no problem. You mastered this in Programming 11. So we have sort of the x-axis on one side, and oof, that's a little bit. Let me try again. Okay, that's better. We have the y-axis that goes down like this. That's your typical processing screen, right? And now we have a third axis, the z-axis, which is coming out sort of away from the screen. Here's the z-axis. And just so you know, like the z-axis is actually coming out at you. It's like, wow, it's coming for you. It's coming straight. Like if you could actually draw the z-axis, it would come right out of the screen and bonk you right in the nose. So like just to make sure that's really clear, I can't draw that. Like that's not a thing I can draw. Like maybe some of you could draw that, but like it wouldn't really make sense to like illustrate what's happening. So just to be clear, like I can draw a little person's head here. Well, that's a weird person's head. Here they are. Here's their nose, and they're like looking straight at the z-axis, right? I don't know. Those are supposed to be their eyes. Here's an ear. I don't know. Is that something happened there with that ear? They should get that looked at. But that's sort of the z-axis coming straight at you. But for this diagram, let me just draw it sort of angled over to the side so that we can make sense of this. Okay, so what were we talking about again? Oh yeah, we want to talk about the vertexes. So let's just draw this block, this Minecraft diamond block. And also I should probably just sort of illustrate over here. Here's our texture. Don't know how to quite describe this texture. Like I can't draw it very well. Like a diamond block, like honestly this is like the dumbest. Like what does this even look like? I don't even know. It's like got some cool textures. I probably switched this to blue. Whatever, don't worry about it. It's all good. So here's our texture, and I'm going to draw my cube now. Wish me luck. Okay, so that's like the top face. This will be the front face. It's not great, but I think it's getting the point across. Yeah. Here's our right face. And of course you have your back face and your left face, and then the bottom face is down there. It didn't quite work. Let's try to be a little more accurate. There, it's good enough. I think it's good enough. So there's our thing. So we got to specify our vertices. So I'm going to start by specifying the top vertices first. So that's going to mean I'm going to specify this vertex, and then this one, and then this one, and then this one. I hope you could see those dots getting bigger. And notice that they have to go in a particular order. If I was to go like across, like if I went like here, and then over here, and then over here, I'd get like weird, I'd get some weird figure eight kind of things going on instead of a flat face. So I'm actually going to start from this one and go to this point, and then go to this point, and then go to that point there. That's going to be the order of things. So as I do that, I also have to match up the vertices in my face with the vertices in the texture pack, in the texture file. So I want to go from this corner to this corner to this corner to this corner as well. So I need to do both of those in the same order. So I hope that made sense. There's a chance it did not make sense. So we'll just do our best, and I hope that's good. One thing that'll make this easier is I'm just going to use zeros and ones. Like the side length of this cube is going to be like 1 unit. So I don't have to like mess around with negative numbers and positive numbers. I mean, I guess it'll be positive, but I won't have to worry about negatives. What else? Like there's some other like key things there that I think that will make that easier. However, my texture is technically, it is like, 16 long and 16 tall. So I'm going to enable a texture mode, I believe it's called normal, where instead of like referring to this as like 16 by 16, I can refer to it as 1 by 1. 1 by 1. 1 just means all the way over to the left, and 1 in the y coordinate means all the way down. That way, the size, like it doesn't matter if it's a 16 by 16 or 100 by 100 or whatever it is, like I could just say 1 means going all the way to the left or all the way to the right, or all the way down. 0 will mean all the way to the other side. So that will be what I'm going to do here. So let's go back to some code. If none of that made any sense whatsoever, I apologize. But let's take a look at a concrete example now. So before I go and do these vertexes, actually, one last thing, I do want to put in the texture mode normal. That way I don't have to mess around with like what the actual size of our texture is. I can just say zeros and ones. Okay, so here we go. So I don't know if I can split screen this, if it's worth split screening. Um, kind of. So let's. Oh, can I get rid of this like blue thing on this side? Um, yeah. Ooh. Now we're talking. Can I move this around? Oh, I can. I wonder. Sorry, I'm very excited by the fact that I am maybe able to move this. Whoa. Whoa. I'm giving myself applause here. You know, this pandemic teaching ain't no joke, folks. This is big. This is a big challenge for us teachers. I'm figuring it out on the fly. I feel so proud. Anyways, all your teachers probably figured this out a long time ago, but forgive me. I am a Luddite. This is the first time I'm moving things around. Anyways, here's our diagram. I'm going to go and type these guys in. So I'm going to start with this coordinate here. I hope this is working in. Yeah, remember, this is our z-axis here, our y-axis here, and our x-axis over here. So what is this first point? Well, that point's going to be 0, 0, 0. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, I didn't type, actually. I mean, I guess I did type. That is true. But I wanted to do it over here. 0, 0, 0. That is that corner. And I want it to match with this coordinate. Oh! Oh no! Oh no, I put it under my face. I was applauding myself so hard. But I did nothing. I really did nothing. Okay, I'm moving it out from my face. I got this dumb fake face. Get out of here, stupid thing. I don't even know what's happening. I hope at least you're getting a good laugh out of me trying to do this. I hope that's at least funny. No, I messed it up. Try again. Ugh. Alright, there we go. We'll put it over here. I hope that's my face is in the way. Anyways, what we want to do now is we want to match this 0, 0, 0 coordinate with this coordinate here on our texture. So what's that coordinate on our texture? Hey, it's the top left corner. That's just 0, 0. So that's what these different parameters mean. So for a vertex, this means x, y, z, and this is our texture's x coordinate, our texture's y coordinate. That's what all these coordinates mean. So as we go through our face, we'll kind of specify those different elements. Okay, and we'll go around clockwise. So the next one we've done this one now. Here we go. We've done this one. So now we'll move over to this one. So we're moving along the x direction, right? So that means our x is now going to be 1, but y and z are still 0. So that's cool. And that corresponds to this in our texture, which is 1, 0. Yeah. Having trouble with the split screen. Okay, so that's the next vertex and how it corresponds. The next one we're going to do is down here. This one, and that's going to correspond to this. So we're going to say that's going to be, I guess, that's going to be x, and not y, because this is the z-axis, right? It's come out along the z-axis. So y actually didn't change, but z is going to be 1. And that's going to correspond to 1, 1. That's what this one is here. And then, last but not least is going to be this point right here on our top face. That is going to be x is 0. Sorry, typing again. 0, 0, and then y is actually 1. That corresponds to this guy over here on the texture, which I guess is x 0, y is 1. Wow, that's hard. It's actually not super hard. And if you're doing this, because you're going to do some of these on your own, I recommend getting a piece of paper and just draw this diagram out yourself and like figure it out as you go. It's not as hard as I'm making it seem, honestly. And you know what's really nice is I can take this top. The bottom is going to be exactly the same. Like this, let me try again here. This right here, this top guy here, this top one, is exactly the same thing as the bottom one. What's the difference? What's the difference between top and bottom? I'm just going to move it down the y-axis. I could also move it up the y-axis, which I think is actually the right thing to do later on, so I apologize if I'm going to do it wrong right now. I just don't want to mess with negative numbers right now. So I can basically now copy and paste this for the bottom. And all I need to do differently is just add to the y coordinate. So I can just go 1, 1, 1, 1 for the bottom. This will be true about the left and right and front and back. They'll have similar relationships with each other, where just one column will be different, right? So the left and right are just different by x. The front and back are just different by z. So you can go and define the left and then add to the x. You can go define the back and then add to the z. So you'll be able to do a similar kind of thing. So I'm going to leave the front and back and left and right for you to do on your own, and I hope that works out. First, let me just prove that this worked. I want to see, did I actually get stuff happening? So let's run this. Let's put this going here. Let's run. The moment of truth. Here they are. Yeah, there they are. See, I got my top and bottom. This was so razor sharp, like you couldn't even see it. Textures are really, 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 really thin. Like infinitely thin, to be honest. Minecraft blocks don't look like they're made up of faces, though. So when you're done, it will look legit, like a real Minecraft block. Notice where they're rotating around, right? They're rotating around this point right here. That's intentional. We're going to be putting that there. Actually, I think the right place is to rotate around here, to be honest. But I'm not too worried about it, and I'm not going to care a lot. I'm just thinking down the road, I think this will actually be the right way to do it. If we actually make it go up instead. So I think that's actually going to probably be the right way. And later on I might regret. But we'll just edit that later on because I don't want to mess too much with negative numbers. So I'm going to just leave it like this for now. Okay, so it's working. It's working pretty good. And you got to go add in the front vertices, the back vertices, which again will be very similar, cut and paste, just differing by the Z. And then left and right, again, to each other, they'll be very similar, except that it'll be, this time the X, that will be what changes. And again, draw yourself a picture. Either get a piece of paper, open up Paint, OneNote, I guess. I don't know, whatever you want. Draw yourself a picture to figure out what the coordinates should be, and get like a full-out diamond block, or if you want to get a different texture, that's fine. And make that look like an actual cube with all 6 sides filled in. It's going to look really nice when you're done. I think you'll enjoy the final product. I think you'll feel like it looks good. So yeah, I'll stop the video there. Thanks for watching. It's a pretty long one. Good luck with this, and I hope it works out well. Okay, bye, Programming 12.